What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you guys have had a great first day of no football, and the great news is this is the first Sunday without football. It's in the books, and we're one Sunday closer to the NFL season being here. Woohoo! Yeah. Uh, I'm beat. I just got finished driving from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and it's about 140 miles. It's been about 220 miles driving up there, and I'm back here with the fire pit and stuff. And man, I am whooped. Ugh. But that doesn't mean the news stops here, or doesn't mean that I can stop, of course, finishing what I do here at the end of the day. Another day is in the books. It was a good one. Got to see an incredible house that was built in 1867. Going to be doing some work there. Did some work there today. And back here, getting some stuff here at the house. And then tomorrow I'll go back down to the red brick house where my wife's at. And riding up the road all that time, I was listening to Micah Parsons and Stephen A. Smith. And I'm going to say, I'll be, let me be honest and advertise, truth in advertising here. I'm not crazy about, I haven't been crazy about Micah Parsons being a podcaster and, always out in Front Street and things, because I feel like you need to be focused. I want to see my people focused in on football. But I got to say, Micah has a gift, and he is really, really good at it. When he is done football and he devotes his time completely to that, he'll be great. And you're beginning to see that the traditional media model no longer is working like it used to be. Back when ESPN had the monopoly on all sports, because they were the innovators, because we went from, the local news having 5 minutes on the sports to George Michael's actually having the sports machine for 30 minutes on Sunday nights to then ESPN, and they literally sucked all the oxygen out of the room. And now you see ESPN getting into betting and everything else and trying to get online and doing things on YouTube and things like that. But you're seeing the players that are better relating to the players than the old talking heads in suits. And you're seeing so much incredible content from the players, player to player, peer to peer, as opposed to a guy who went to journalism school. And here lies where a lot of times the old guard hates the new guard. The guy who had to work in the newspaper or the magazines and work their way up, they look at somebody who gets on YouTube and say, why are people watching him? I'm a journalist. I'm credentialed. I am the media. Who are these idiots? Well, unfortunately, the dynamics have changed. And that may be in media all the way around, where you don't necessarily have to have the story right. It's really more about how you look and the thumbnail and the title on whether or not somebody clicks. And also being attractive. Now, I'm not saying I'm attractive, and I'm not saying I'm being popular, but all of those things go into it. So if you're kind of the old school guy, people look at you and it's kind of like, meh. The players look at you kind of like, meh. But they can relate to somebody like they would have played football with, that understands that, like Skip Bayless says, I've been in, I've covered football for 50 years or however long it is. And it's like, yeah, have you ever played any? Have you ever, had to tackle somebody? Do you understand what it's like? Have you ever had to have ice whirlpools at 6 a.m.? Have you ever had to have your knees drained? Then you don't know shit then, Skip. So that's where I see Micah Parsons will be incredible at that. Now, the one thing that I will say that I'm happy to finally hear from the players is they sound like they want to be accountable, that they recognize that they are as much to blame, or they're beginning to take ownership of some of the blame in ways we haven't before. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it works out. But the first step of fixing a problem is recognizing that there is a problem. And they recognize they're looking in the mirror and saying, I got to do this. But the reason I was talking about Micah Parsons, literally Stephen A. Smith has been doing this forever, always trolling the Cowboys, always getting, the conversation to fit the narrative that he wants to go ahead and fit. And basically soiling the Cowboys. But it was amazing how Micah Parsons was going toe for toe with Stephen A. Smith and giving it right back to him to the point where Stephen A. could not respond. Stephen A. Smith looked like the village idiot going against Einstein. When he go, Dak Prescott threw that interception. He's a choker. It's like, no, hold up, bro. He said, what did Pat Mahomes do in the Super Bowl? Pat Mahomes was, threw an interception. He said, yeah, but you were down 14-0. He said, why were you down 14-0? Defense didn't hold. Defense didn't hold. Yeah, he threw an interception. They scored off that interception. Okay. But we didn't do our job. He said, you're expecting him to be perfect. And when Pat Mahomes threw his interception, they were down 10-0. He said, if their defense had done what our defense had done, the game's over. They lose it. They don't have a chance to come back, which is the truth. Ruth, it is a team sport. There are going to be times when your quarterback is not perfect. See Josh Allen, who had 22 turnovers this year. 22. And FYI, for all those out there that talk about how good Josh Allen is, guess what? He ain't made the Super Bowl either. And as Micah put it, he's gone to the AFC Championship game. And Dak Prescott's only been to the division. Yeah, but in the end of the day, what does it mean? Will they put on your MVP thing? He went to the division. He went to the AFC Championship game. No, because if that's the case, then you could look at Danny White, because Danny White took the Cowboys to 3 NFC Championship games. But I don't ever hear about, when we talk about the greatest quarterbacks the Cowboys have, I don't ever hear them talking about Danny White as one of the greatest Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks there are. They talk about Tony Romo better than Danny White. Danny White went to 3 NFC Championship games. So how is it Tony Romo never got to one? He's better than Danny White. So by that logic, the logic that Josh Allen is better than Dak Prescott because he went to 1 AFC Championship game, then Danny White is better than Tony Romo. Right? That's basically what they're saying. Then it should be Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Danny White. Changed my mind. But in the end of the day, Danny White ain't getting no love. Danny White ain't getting no love. So it was good to see Micah Parsons make the arguments there. Micah Parsons talking about how good Chris Jones was and instrumental in them winning a Super Bowl. The big guy. Anybody who knows me, I've said you need the big guys. They're not sexy. They don't sell jerseys. But the big guys in the middle are what do it for you. And as much as we look at Dak or or Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, all of the offenses. We love offense. But in the end, the redheaded stepchild that is the defense is what ultimately wins championships. As San Francisco and Kansas City went toe for toe against each other, it was the defenses that kept both of them in there. And in the end, Kansas City's defense holding them to a field goal and the 49ers not keeping them out of the end zone was the difference. And that's what we have to understand. After going through, and I've been trying to get with Brian, I know Brian was going to the RV show today, and me, I had to go up there to hook up the micro, put it in the microwave and fix the sink and some other stuff so they can get the refrigerator in, taking off part of the door frame and stuff, and then figuring out what we needed material-wise so we can remodel the bathroom and getting back here. I didn't have a chance to go through and get with them. But I was sitting there going through the size of the players we have on that defense. And that defense was made to be like sports cars. Everybody is tall, skinny, and fast. If you say, get to the quarterback, we got speed to run circles around the offensive line. Right? And we did. We got to the quarterback when it called for it. But with that, the opposite of that is you don't have big guys when they are coming straight at you. When you think of Marquez Bell, who had to play kind of linebacker there at 205 pounds. 205 pounds, guys. If a guard is coming at you to block you at 205 pounds, I don't care how good your skills are, you ain't shedding that block at 205 pounds against a guard that might be 320. Just not. Or if you do shed that block, by the time you get away from him and you've got a running back who's flying at you, he's going to carry you downfield. He just is. And when you have defensive linemen like Osa and Digizua, who is great pass rushing, who's only like 280 pounds, if you're telling me that the tackle is going to be plowing at him, that he's giving up 40 pounds, it's hard for that guy to make that stop. It just is. And when Hankins goes out, and then you lose Van Der Esch, sorry, you don't have a defense that can stop the run. And football in the playoffs is about the run. So there you have it. And somehow, all the Cowboys' faults are me because I believe in Dak Prescott. Go figure. Anyway, shout out to Micah Parsons, who is one hell of a podcaster and one hell of a celebrity basketball player. And shout out to Danny White, who's an incredible quarterback by ESPN Narratives. All right, good people. As always, I want to say thank you all for watching and being part of the Joe Booth Sports Report. And I'm going to go up here and take a shower. And I'm going to go climb into bed because I am exhausted. I still got 150 miles of driving to do in the morning. Jeez. This shit never ends. See you guys, God willing, in the morning. Peace.